An international collection of talent have rolled deep into pro bowling's postseason. From the United States, Kyle Troup, Australia's Sam Cooley, Canada's Francois Lavoie, and Puerto Rico's Christian Azcona. But today, it's not about where you're from, it's what you can do on the lanes. Did you bring your A game? And will it be enough to take the belt and win it all here at the 2021 Kia PBA Playoffs? We welcome you to semifinal Saturday of the Kia PBA Playoffs. We're live in Southern Connecticut for the next 2 days as we bring a close to a month-long competition. 16 earned their ticket to the playoffs after today. Only 2 of these 4 will remain. Tomorrow's title showdown live on Fox, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thrills you're back here with us. Rob Stone, the Hall of Famer. Randy Peterson back here with you. How about the great news out of the PBA camp yesterday? Our PBA family will be complete again in June. Fans allowed back at PBA events. But for today, it's all about the PBA playoffs, getting one step closer to having the hardware around somebody's. This is legit belt, by the way. It's got some weight to it. So we're talking PBA playoffs, and then there's this undercurrent theme of the Player of the Year race may be determined this weekend.
Yeah, first of all, hi. Welcome
back. Good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you. But you're right out of the gate, Player of the Year implications in our opening matchup that features that man, Kyle Troup, and Francois Lavoie, the front runners for that prestigious award. Troup in the quarterfinals waxed Thomas Larson 2-zip, averaging just under 250 for the sweep.
Yeah, Troup, your 1 seed, set to take on 4-seed Lavoie. This is the heavy hitters part of the bracket.
It really is. A little tougher time with the defending champ O'Neal, and Francois would have to go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. But, Rob, if we've learned anything about Francois Lavoie this season, it's that you can never count him out.
He took care of Bill O'Neal, who won the title last year. There is some monetary history on the line as well this weekend.
Yeah, there really is. Take a look at those numbers. That's big bucks. Walter Ray owns that record at just under $420,000. If Kyle Troup wins today, he will be guaranteed to finish no less than second, and he will break that record. Francois can do it, but he would have to do it with a win tomorrow.
Here now, the odds to win provided by Fox Bet. Semifinal number 1 looks to be pretty even, according to Fox Bet. And Sam Cooley, a slight favorite over Christian Azcona. So Troup and Lavoie will start us off in our race to 2 wins. Kimberly Pressler standing by with our first 2 semifinalists.
Well, thanks, Rob. There is a battle within the battle today because you guys mentioned there's a Player of the Year race going on, and these 2 guys are the top contenders for that. So, Francois, I have to ask you, have you thought about that coming into today's semifinals?
A little bit, yeah. It's in the back of my mind. It's for sure a big match, but that's just an outcome that's too far in the future. I'm not really focused on that right now. I'm focused on this match.
What about the $100,000 you could win if you walk away with this, or even that WWE belt?
Yeah, those are both pretty appetizing.
All right, well, good luck today.
Thank you.
And Kyle, we have talked about this previously in the season, that the Player of the Year race kind of weighed on you a bit. So how are you feeling about it today coming into today's semifinals?
It's really not on my mind at all, Kimberly. Kind of the same thing that Frankie said. I'm focused on this match. I put a little too much pressure on myself earlier in the year, but I'm back to being myself on TV. I feel calm, cool, and collected, and ready to go.
All right, well, we wish you luck today as well.
Thank you.
Are we not even going to talk about Kyle's outfit today?
It's stunning.
How strong is that? The Afro fish, some guppies floating around. Let's meet our semifinalists.
From Taylorsville, North Carolina, he bowls out of Penn Station in Newton, Kyle Troup.
There's no mistaking the pro with the fro. Both his bowling and his signature hairstyle are bigger and better than ever. Despite the shortened 2020 season, Kyle Troup managed to collect not 1, not 2, but 3 PBA Tour titles and earned his highest annual prize total to date, over $135K. That is until 2021, where he's already taken home over $300,000, funded in large part by his first major title win at the PBA Players Championship. Are more titles and more big paydays in Kyle's future? Can you say, pick it out, baby? This is Kyle Troup.
I think it's fair to say there are some big paydays looming in this young man's future. Already won the Players' Championship, 5th at the World Championship, 4th at the doubles with his partner Jesper Svensson, 2nd at the Scorpion. Here he is to kick off our race to 2 games. Semifinal and a quick timeout. Kyle's going to step away.
Well, we thought he had a nice season last season when he had 3 wins, right?
Just real quick, the format, race to 2 games. If we're tied at ones, we will go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. That has been a theme. 9 of our 12 matches so far have been decided by a roll-off. We've seen a whole lot of parity here at the playoffs. Pretty good start for Afrofish.
From Quebec City, Quebec, now rolling out of Shocker Sports Grill and Lanes in Wichita, Kansas, Francois Lavoie.
Say bonjour to Francois Lavoie. He's young, he's Canadian, he's quiet, and he's unstoppable. In 2020, Lavoie became only the 2nd pro to bowl not 1, but 2 perfect games on television. And in 2021, he triumphed at the Kia PBA Tournament of Champions, earning his 5th career tour title and 3rd major. Magnifique. Underrated no more, Francois is now eligible for the PBA Hall of Fame and looking to bring home another title at this year's PBA playoffs. This is Francois Lavoie.
Started the season strong, hasn't stopped. Get down.
Late 9.
A lethargic 9 finds its way down. Matching strikes to start us off.
How about the little pin carry here for Francois Lavoie? But how about the 4 players he beat to win this year's Tournament of Champions? Sean Rash, Jesper Svensson, Jason Belmonte, and Anthony Simonson.
And there's his road to the semifinals, taking down our good friends Dick Allen and Bill O'Neill. Back-to-back jacks for Francois. Very mild-mannered, clean cut.
Yeah.
Skinny, tight physique, but we had this conversation with him this week, and he said, when I was at Wichita State and part of Team Canada, I had a bit of a hothead issue early on in his youth career. Led to some moments of kicking and punching. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Should have seen my golf game yesterday.
I remember those days.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God, Kyle.
Troup way right of target, way right.
Well, he did say that execution was going to be key coming in to the semifinals, and he's been really good at executing. A little skinny.
The smile says it all. And already, our spare of the game brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will. It's good to say those words again. I felt like I barked those words out not too long ago.
It was epic.
Oh, my gosh. What fun that was, huh?
That was great. What a show.
So Troup, strike 7 spare. Here he is in the 3rd. Game 1 of 2 between these two. Back on the strike train. Yep. Clean yourself of that opening shot in the 2nd, Kyle, and move on down. Take a seat as we take a look at our oil pattern.
44-foot Carmen Salvino. And the players with power, they're going to be in, and they're going to curve it. Francois Lavoie, he's going to be going a little bit straighter. Right around that 2nd arrow mark.
to start for Frankie.
About 12.5 to 8. That's fairly straight through the front part of the lane. And you can see the rev rate, 367, quite a bit lower than Kyle Troup. But he does it with finesse in his hand and his release, and that's how he gets the ball to do what he wants it to do. The key for Francois Lavoie is going to be able to get that 10 pin out. If you see him start leaving a lot of weak 10s, that's going to spell trouble.
Opening ham bone for Lavoie.
It's a good start, especially when you want to give one of the hottest players on tour and Kyle Troup something to think about. But I'll tell you what, this man right here has had a heck of a season.
Right now, if the season was over right now, Randy, who's your player of the year? Is it Frankie? Is it Kyle? Is it a split? Co-players of the year? I mean, that's how tight it's been.
Yeah. Shredder. I mean, Francois won the Super Slam. It doesn't count as a title.
But it still has to count in the player of the year resume,
count, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody realizes that.
Yeah.
You know, and your hesitation to say who it is tells you all you need to know about today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, the winner of this match moves on to the final of the playoffs. One of these two wins the playoffs. They've created some breathing room from the rest of the pack. And it's a pretty strong pack behind them, but these are the two right now who have had the best season on the tour. Troup in the 5th. Well, 3 in a row after that 7 spare in the set. Oh, threatening him with the pick. Some mental warfare.
You know, that's illegal in some states.
But not in Connecticut. I had this moment in the restroom with Kyle about 40 minutes ago. Here I am applying my makeup in the mirror. Next to him, he's picking it out. And I'm like, where's a photographer when we need it? Like, the real behind the scenes of the PBA. Oh, Frankie, unstoppable so far. 5 in a row. Take a look at how Frankie has done at the majors. 2 top 5 finishes. Struggles at the World Championship, tied for 13th at the Masters, 25th at the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open, a talking point about Kyle Troup's game as well. Kimberly's going to have more on that in a moment. Crack open that 6-pack. When we return, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Randy, Roman Reigns chimes in on Kyle, the truth, Troup. By the way, that's not the only WWE guy who's going to show up on today's show.
Rumor has it. Yeah.
We got 3 others to come. This very much feels like a segment that was handpicked and produced by me, for the record. All right, Troup in the 6th. All right, he keeps his strikes going. So he's been perfect except for that 7 spare in the 2nd. And Kyle Troup dialed in this season and
Absolutely, because Kyle describes his performance at this year's U.S. Open as dreadful and found himself with some mental doubt and lack of confidence. Now, he told us with the help of Tim Mack and Jesper Svensson, they put his year into perspective, saying, they reminded me that this has been the best year of my career, and even Kobe has some bad games. He also said that I put too much pressure on myself for Player of the Year, but now I'm acting more like me. I feel confident, and I'm ready to bring home that belt.
A little wide of target there. Messenger misses the 10. He said about that poor U.S. Open, Kimberly, it was needed.
What is that?
You know, it got me back to earth, grounded him, took the Player of the Year thoughts off his shoulders, and let him, Randy, focus in the moment.
Yeah, there was a point in that event where You could have bet everything that you had that in an 8-game block, Kyle Troup would not bowl a 200 game. And guess what? He didn't bowl a 200 game in one of the 8-game blocks at the U.S. Open.
He's frustrated right now, taking a seat. The good news for Kyle, he's still involved in game 1, but he's got another opportunity. Game 2, win that one, and then force a roll-off with Lavoie. Lavoie up 21, perfect through 6. Seven pin denies him perfection in the 7th.
I think one of the toughest things to do on television is to execute out of a commercial break. And this one was a little bit longer with the WWE roll in, and Francois has been sitting a long time. And, you know, there's a thing called rhythm. And once you get into rhythm, it's a bad thing to break. And unfortunately, that's what commercial breaks do. And it's the players. A lot of times games are decided as to which player performs the best coming out of commercial break.
Coming up a little bit later, Christian Azcona, number 15 seed. We've seen him a couple times on the tour this year. And I remember our first meeting with him. That was one of his concerns, you know, reaching out to the pros. How do I handle these commercial breaks, these downtimes? What do I do to manage my time, manage my mindset? 20-pin lead. We open the 8th. Game 1 of 2 in the race to 2. Lavoie back on the strike train.
Well, this is always a good sign, and I talked about it earlier, Rob. Second pin from the right, 6-pin, goes to the sidewall and chops the 10 out. And that's what a lower rev player looks for and hopes for. So they've got the right axis rotation, the right entry angle into the pins to carry that 10. This guy here, he just goes with raw power. Oh.
Left the 7.
And what we've seen throughout the competition here in Connecticut is this right lane gets a little snug down lane, and players, their speed control has to be real precise on that right lane.
For the spare, drops it down. Later today, pro football continues. It's the Spring League on Fox. You can catch the Alphas taking on the Conquerors. 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on Fox. Also available on the Fox Sports app. Troup down 21. We get set to open up the 9th. Again, the race to 2. Lavoie, should he hold on and win game 1, that would force Kyle to win game 2 to then force a roll-off, and that has been a theme. As we mentioned, the open 9 of the 12 matches here at the playoffs have been decided by a roll-off. What does that tell you about the competitors we've seen throughout the playoffs, Randy?
Well, it tells me that they're great competitors in the top 16 in the world, or at least for this season, but it also says that the old pattern is very playable.
That's a strong strike in the 9th.
And a ball change for Kyle Troup. Sean Ryan, tour rep for Kyle. Sean, why did he change to that ball?
His other ball was starting to bog down in the front part of the lane, so he just needed a little bit more back end.
So bogged down, by that you mean it started to read early, it started to hook early?
Yeah, it was starting to hook a little early for him.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Ooh, Frankie's got a big challenge here in the 9th. Uh-oh.
Well, if he doesn't convert here, there's a lot of things that are going to change. And Frankie's going to try to get the ball over here to the left side of the 2-pin and cut it over into the 10.
Only handled 15% of the time on the tour, the 2-10. Missed it. Open frame in the 9th. Door open for Troup.
Well, you can see the max scores there now. Kyle Troup can strike out and steal game one away from Francois Lavoie.
And that's the right term, stealing it.
Yeah.
Because this was Frankie's. You saw it perfect through 6, spare strike, and then this open frame in the 9th.
Well, he's been pretty good about bumping that 10 out on that left lane here in game one. Right over third arrow. You see the tracer there. And the love tap on the 10. Good stuff by Francois. Now 2 more will force Troup to get all 3. His hand, and you can see the numbers right there, Rob. And now Kyle Troup will need first strike in the 10th. If Francois makes this spare, we could have a possibility of a tie as well, but Troup must strike first ball.
So getting that open frame in the 9th. And that'll be the one we're going to circle and say that's when this game one changed.
2 strikes here, he'll win game 1. Strike 9 spare will tie. He's going to go with that same ball he used on the left lane when he made the ball change. He's going to use the same one on the right lane.
And it worked awfully well in the 9th. Gets it. One more for the win. Frankie knows regardless, he'll live to roll another game against Troup. That one coming up next live here on FS1 at the Kia PBA playoffs.
Right here. That was a good one. Best one in the game right here. Just like that last one. Some legs, boost a shot.
Strike to win game 1.
Get there, baby. Right there, that's a shot. Didn't want that.
So Troup wins game 1 of our race to 2. Game 2 between Troup and Lavoie coming up next, plus the big E on the big F. Francois, you're not going to want to miss this one. A come-from-behind victory. Kyle Troup takes game number 1. Can he sweep Lavoie?
Francois just got up on the wrong lane.
Details. Don't get caught up in the detail. Things like that don't bother Big E.
I think Big E got to him just a little.
All right, we start game number 2 of match number 1.
There's a ball change for Lavoie.
Seems to have worked.
Yeah, he's going to move in and open the lane up a little bit more and get a little closer to where Kyle Troup's playing him. So he goes to a different ball that's got more shape. It's actually the same bowling ball that Kyle Troup switched to. So it's a little cleaner through the front part of the lane, and that's going to allow it to recover and actually hook or curve more in the back part of the lane. And that's exactly what he's trying to do to open up this oil pattern.
So each guy using the same ball.
Correct.
strike for Kyle. You know who's in attendance today, don't you? You know who he snuck in?
I do.
Yeah, we got Pops in here.
There he is.
Guppy. Papa Troup. How about the pants they found in the closet?
Yeah. Listen, I bowled with Gup back in the day, and those pants right there that he's wearing right there, those are pretty mild.
We talked to Kyle this week. I was like, hey, wait, Dad's coming? Yeah, we're flying up together. I said, well, what's Pops wearing? And there was this pause. He goes, oh, yeah, we got to go in the closet. We got to find something for Dad to wear. I mean, by the way, Guppy, full-on Fear and Loathing in Milford look right now with that Hunter S. Thompson glasses. Can't get over those glasses. Here's his son, doing him proud the last couple years. Up for Player of the Year, candidacy. Is that going to fall? Yeah! Get down! Get down!
Wow.
Mama Troup upstairs might have kissed that one down to the ground.
Wide right, it comes back from New Haven. Bridgeport, I'm not real good with my logistics
Came
here.
back with a pizza from New Haven?
Yeah. Check out the love tab. Now the two wanted to stand and then just got enough of a nudge right there.
More traditional strike. Lavoie matches him, so both perfect through 2.
Another kick save on the 10 and a beauty for Lavoie. There you go.
Won the TOC back in late February. Really kind of kick-started his Player of the Year campaign.
Yeah.
He's got all the credentials this season. In fact, all 4 bowlers on today's show are having what they've termed to us best years of their career.
Without question.
3 in a row, late drop of the 10, but that seems to have caused some consternation for Frankie.
Yeah, he just barely got the 10 out, and I think that's why he was kind of staring at it.
Three tour titles last season for Kyle. He took match 1, 248, 237, 9 total strikes, including the last 4.
Got some hold too. Ooh, nice.
He's got the ball rolling just the way he wants it right now. 3 in a row for Kyle. Randy?
Yeah?
We've got a new partner here on the PBA Tour.
We sure do, and as you know, Rob, as well as anyone, ball maintenance is extremely important on the PBA Tour, and that's why we're so excited to welcome our new sponsor, Manscaped, the official below-the-waist grooming partner.
I know you're expecting me to say something.
Yeah,
aren't you?
well, I was hoping.
I'm just going to hang out here. Wow, pins thrown all over the place. A ham bone for Kyle.
Beauty there. You know, Rob, you and I talked earlier in the season about Kyle Troup going from this showman to actually showing everybody how much game he's got. And I think the biggest difference that I've seen with him is his confidence level and the fact that he believes that he's going to win.
I think he needs, this is my 2 cents, he needs to manage those. You can't get away from the showman because that's part of who he is. Right. He needs that to thrive. But you're right, a little more quote-unquote professionalism will certainly help him out. And now Lavoie matches his ham bone with one of his own. And Kimberly, Francois seems to be embracing the inner Francois, if you will.
He absolutely is, and he told us that in our pre-show interviews. And then we asked him, can you elaborate on that a little bit? And he said that in the past, I've gotten lost trying to change my game to be more like today's power players. And when those changes didn't bring the results he had hoped for, Francois and his team decided to reset and go back to what has worked for him in his career previously. And he said, my aim now is to expand my skill set and improve my feel within my own game so I can stay true to myself and the lanes.
I know who you are. Messenger cut right in front of the 10. It's great advice to I think, any athlete out there. It's easy to get caught, watching the home run hitters, right? Guess what? There's nothing wrong with some singles and some doubles and stealing a base. Know your game.
Yep, without question. That was one of the biggest lessons I ever learned. Remember the last shot he threw on that lane, and you made the comment? He's kind of looking at that like, not really sure. And that's why that last shot that he just threw on the same lane, leaving that weak 10.
Our friend, the 10 pin.
No, that's your friend.
Nobody's friend. 10 pin is friendless. The only time the 10 pin gets a call is when you need that driver. You're like, we're going to have a great Friday night. Who's going to take us out? Let's call it 10 pin.
Maybe.
Got it. 5 for 5. Troup trying to shut out Francois. Up 11.
All right, getting back to what we were talking about with Kyle, don't you think he has the perfect mix now?
I do, because he's still himself.
Right.
Particularly off the lanes, he's still got that energy. He still talks to himself, talks to his dad, talks to mom upstairs. And for him, he needs that.
Yeah. But you're right, it's about balance.
And he's really close. Kimberly brought it up, the U.S. Open. He lost that balance. Started getting, maybe a little too big for himself.
All the greats do. Belmonte went through it. E.J. Tackett went through it. Kyle had that moment at the U.S. Open. All the greats go through it.
But he recognized it, reacted to it, handled it, and now Kyle perfect through 6. Pops in the house, loving it. Kyle, couple frames away from sweeping Francois. We will wrap up the second game of our opening semifinal today here of the Kia PBA playoffs live on FS1. We welcome you back to Bolero here in Milford, Connecticut, continuing coverage of the Kia PBA playoffs, closing in on semifinal number 1. Kyle Troup, your 1 seed, come from behind win in game number 1, 248-237, trying to close out Francois Lavoie, who's down 21 pins here, bottom of the 6th, working on a spare. Better kick of the 10 pin for him?
Yes, on that lane. And will it do the same on the left? And that was another ball change for Francois Lavoie.
Pretty much now or never. Down 21, looking for a doubles. We begin the 7th. Troup perfect through 6.
There you go. And again, why the ball change, Robbie? He's just trying to find the right shape. He can get to the pocket, but if you can't get the corners out, the ball's not going through the pins the right way. And that bowling ball there has just got a little bit different shape to it. It's a little more even, a little more smooth. And you can see it ends up flush in the 1-3 pocket.
Well, Frankie was perfect through 6 in our opening game. Kyle, ditto here, game number 2. Trying to be perfect through 7. Oh. Left the 10 pin.
Should have stopped. Step off. Step off, Kyle.
10 pin.
Stupid 10 pin.
Stupid 10 pin.
So stupid. What a jerk.
10 pin taking care of 95% of the time on the tour. Kyle drops that, his first spare. And the PBA proud to officially welcome back the fans. Head on over to PBA.com to purchase tickets for the PBA Tour Finals at one of our favorite places, Thunder Bowl Arena in Detroit, June 26th and the 27th. Limited tickets are on sale right now. Remember to sign up for the ultimate PBA fan experience, PBA Pinsiders, to get first access to all future PBA events and gear up with official PBA swag. Love me some swag.
Yep, who doesn't?
So both can max out at 279. Kyle up 10, working on his first spare of the game. Back on the strike train.
Well, something distracted Kyle when he got up on the right lane, and he left that ringing 10, which we're looking at going, wow, that was a pretty good shot, but Kyle didn't like it, said he should have backed off. See max scores for both players now. 279 apiece.
Oh, 7 pin.
Yeah, just a little lazy coming around the corner. He actually went to this ball because it's so much cleaner through the front. It actually snaps a little harder in the back part of the lane. And that time it didn't do that.
93% of the time. 7 pin cleaned up on the tour.
Hey, you know where we get those numbers? From our good friends at Lane Talk.
How good are our friends at Lane Talk, by the way?
They're awesome. If you want to improve your game, get those great stats for your own personal enjoyment in bowling, head on over to lanetalk.com.
Good people there.
They are.
Got some NASCAR Cup Series coming your way tomorrow here on FS1 from Dover. Best season ever is what they're telling me. It's a big shot. Frankie in the 9th, off a spare, little right of target, and he's got himself a challenge.
Big trouble.
Not the first time he's seen the 210 today.
Yep, again, same idea.
He could not convert it in the 9th in game number 1. Here is, again, he leaves an open frame in the 9th on the same shot. Kyle Troup is on the verge of closing this one out.
Kyle Troup is on the verge of making history.
He's also on the verge of getting himself deeper into that Player of the Year conversation. That conversation may soon be just one person, that man. In the 9th, Troup left the 10.
That's good.
No, 10 in the pit. We've got a new single season money winner, and Kyle Troup, more importantly for him, moves on to tomorrow's title match here at the Kia PBA playoffs.
My year.
It has been his year. And he is one day away from getting that belt that he just referred to.
Well, it was a nice ball change that he made in game 1, wasn't it?
Was the difference. That and 9th frame woes for Lavoie.
Yep.
Kyle just stepping up and firing some pink heat. That's it. Great run from Frankie. He is still in the running for PBA Player of the Year, but that man, Kyle Troup, leads the pack.
athletes where they just won't be denied. I mean, they have that feeling and that belief, and that's where Kyle Troup is.
I see you, Kyle. That belt will fit nice. Although I want to see it on Guppy. I want to see that belt on Guppy, because Guppy will just wear that out.
Yeah.
Like going to the dry cleaners.
Oh yeah.
He's got the belt on. He's gonna swing by, pick up some dinner. I got the belt on. By the way, if I had a belt, I'd be wearing it everywhere as well.
Thanks, mate.
Great set, man.
Thank you. You
So
too.
259, 223, the final.
Thank you.
Belt, baby. We're coming for the belt. The belt.
Kyle will have a shot at the belt tomorrow live on Big Boy Fox. Bart Simpson Fox. Coverage coming your way at 2 Eastern over on Fox. We're not done here. Semifinal number 2 on FS1 still to come. But Kyle Troup, victorious, shuts out Francois Lavoie. He's standing by with Kimberly.
So you just swept Francois Lavoie. You're going to be in the finals. He left the door open for you in that first match. You took advantage. You walked away with it. And even in the second match, you were striking. You played well, but I saw you shaking your head and talking to yourself. What was going through your mind?
Honestly, Kimberly, that 7th frame, I hate to say it, but I thought about 300, and I stepped up on the approach, wrapped 10, broke the process, and that's what I was more upset about. It was still a great shot, but I fought forward there, but I just had to reel myself back in, stay in the moment, and focus on the next frame and go from there.
Well, not only are you going to be in the PBA playoff finals for the first time in your career, but today, with this win, you have now secured the spot as the #1 singles earner in PBA history. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Well, you did, so what are your thoughts on that?
Thank you, PBA and Bolero, for all the money that we've been bowling for. It's great. I would say don't tell too many people, but I guess it's too late for that. I mean, I'm just very thankful and blessed, but, you know, we're coming for the belt.
All right, well, congratulations. Now I know that Guppy's standing over there. Why don't you go celebrate with your dad?
Look at Gup work his way on over there. Well, the heavy lifting comes tomorrow on Bart Simpson Fox.
I get the belt. Yeah, you get the belt. I'll take the money.
Those two are going to share the belt. Oh, good. Oh, this is glorious. I love this. Well, coming up next, we're going to preview semifinal number 2. It's the underdog portion of the bracket next. The 2021 Kia PBA playoffs continues tomorrow as we wrap things up and crown a champion live on Fox 2 Eastern right here from Bolero Milford in Milford, Connecticut. We know Kyle Troup will be there, shutting out Francois Lavoie. Wins by 11 and 36 pins. Up next, he's going to find out who's going to take on. And if this was March Madness, this would be the bracket that was filled with the upsets. You know, the smaller type programs of Christian Azcona and Sam Cooley. A real interesting semifinal number 2 matchup coming our way.
It really is. And, you know, I think you made a great comment. I think it was maybe game 2 of Lavoie and Troup that all 4 players said that they're having the greatest season of their careers. Well, think about this. If Christian or Sam Cooley, when they make it to the finals, it'll be the biggest payday of their careers, win or lose. I mean, second place is $60,000. So it's a pretty interesting game coming up between 2 players that have 1 win each, starting with Christian Azcona. I think there's a lot of folks surprised that he took down E.J. Tackett.
This is not the first time we've seen Christian Azcona this season. In fact, we've had a lot of conversations with him, and then this is one of the real feel-good stories of the year. Sam Cooley, your 11 seed, and he has been playing with some proper motivation this season.
Yeah, he really has. What an emotional win when he won at the World Series of bowling. But, you know, it was quite the gift. Everybody thought Tom Doherty had this locked up. Tom needed to go 9 spare 9 to advance, and instead he leaves that 2-4-10, and Sam Cooley gets in.
Yep, instead, Tom is back home texting you and I during commercial breaks right now.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom. Good to see you again, my friend. Let's take a look at Fox Bet and how they see this one, and they're giving the slight edge to Sam Cooley over Azcona, which sounds just about right.
Yeah.
But the way this tournament has gone, upsets have lurked, particularly on this side of the brackets. So coming up next, semifinal number 2, Azcona Cooley, the winner, to take on Kyle Troup tomorrow in the final of the Kia PBA playoffs. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, welcome you back to our continuing coverage of the PBA 2021 PBA playoffs, coming your way live from Milford, Connecticut, the Constitution State down here in southern Connecticut. We are set for semifinal number 2. Sam Cooley set to take on Christian Azcona.
From Mount Warrigal, Australia, bowling out of Shell Harbor Bowl in Barrack Heights, Sam Cooley.
Well, look at that. It's another winner from the land down under. After chasing titles for 6 years and coming in third 3 times, right-handed Australian Sam Cooley finally enjoyed a trip to the winner's circle at the 2021 PBA World Series of Bowling when he beat Chris Prather in the final match. While he might have a long way to go to catch up to a certain Aussie, this first PBA title will definitely help his efforts to be more than just that other bowler from Australia. Making a name for himself on the PBA Tour, this is Sam Cooley.
His best results before winning that Cheetah Championship earlier this season, 3 third-place finishes. And now he's playing with confidence he's never seen in his career. And a strike to start things off.
The 5-time member of Team Puerto Rico, he rolls out of Lakeside Lanes in Tavares, Florida, Christian Azcona.
The pride of Puerto Rico is looking to win a big prize for the island. Christian Azcona is the only bowler from the island of Enchantment with a PBA Tour title, but he has his sights set even higher. With his performance at the 2021 U.S. Open, it looks like a major is within reach. Christian was putting up great numbers and leading the tournament after the first round of match play before eventually finishing in 4th. If he keeps up that level of bowling, it's only a matter of time before he wins another title or even takes that coveted major back to Puerto Rico. This is Christian Azcona.
Delightful young man. His only title came back in 2018, an extra frame event in Wilmington. You see his arsenal today, again, higher the number, equaling more hook. Azcona's first effort here in our opening match of semifinal number 2, Cooley versus Azcona. Matching strikes to start this one as we take a look, Randy, at this matchup between our 11 seed and our 15 seed, Cooley and Azcona.
Yeah, it's real close. I mean, Christian hasn't been on tour quite as many years, but age-wise, I mean, just a couple years there, and they both with the one title. Christian's was an internet title extra frame event back in Wilmington, North Carolina, and Sam Cooley, he won that very emotional tournament during the World Series of Bowling. Hey, Rob, by the way, who's the guy sitting between us?
Kyle Troup has joined us.
Pick it out.
Pick it out.
Back-to-back opening jacks for Christian. Hey, Kyle joins us right now. We're going to talk about, obviously, the second semifinal here, but your thoughts on how your matches today went. And I don't want to say you were gifted them, but clearly some doors were open for you in the 9th frame in both games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I made a terrible shot to start the first match. All I could do was laugh that off and the spare attempt. But after that, I felt pretty locked in. That ball I was using at the beginning started to bog down and get slower a lot earlier than I seen in the earlier rounds. So I had to make that ball change in the 10th. I knew that was the ball to go to. And once I threw that turkey and won the first game, I pretty much had all the confidence in the world after that because I knew that ball was going to give me lots of carry. And Frankie was going to go through transition, so that's kind of why I hollered at him a little bit after that first game.
Kyle, congrats again on your win. But
Thank you.
In this match right here with Azcona and Cooley, who do you think matches up better on this oil pattern?
It's so hard to say, Randy. I mean, both these guys have been hooking it the entire playoffs, and now they're bowling on the burn. Me and Frankie played a little further right. Maybe based off of ball choice, I would go with Azcona because Cooley is throwing a very strong ASIM. And Azcona is throwing a quicker pearl ball, I believe. So I would maybe go with Azcona just based on ball reaction. Both these guys are going to throw lots of strikes, I believe.
All right, so Kyle basically saying that the burn is because we didn't re-oil in between games. That Sam Cooley's using an ASIM, which is an asymmetrical core, means the ball's really, really strong, real early. Azcona, his best look is when he goes with the right piece of equipment. When he gets the right ball in his hand, I agree with you. I think his ball reaction is as good as anybody's.
Oh, he's had great ball reaction throughout the playoffs, and you know, I went back and watched his matches. He was pretty stone cold solid during the roll-offs as well. I mean, look at that face he's got on right there. He's locked in, he's focused and ready to go.
Five-time member of the Puerto Rican national team, Azcona. 3 in a row.
And to note, Azcona is just a little bit further left of Cooley, so that might can give Cooley some transition to deal with throughout this match. We'll just have to wait and see, but both these guys look perfect to me, Randy.
Yeah, and again, we watched Christian kind of own it early and stay with the same ball, and then he started off at, I believe it was in the quarterfinals, where the ball that he'd started with looked terrible. He goes to a different ball and just owned it.
That's kind of been the thing. You throw a solid ball or a smoother one and then go to a pearl in that second game, and then it's off to the races from there.
Now, both these guys have a death stare at the pins.
He's got a hell of a release, doesn't he?
He gets it. I mean, I'm trying to understand it. I'm watching him bowl in the practice pair, and he's 12 left of me, and he's got the whole lane. I'm like, I want to play in there, but I don't think my ball's going to strike from there. But it's pretty impressive, the trick that he's got.
Rob, watch this. Like, his wrist is inverted there, and then on the way down, look how he cups it, and then just really mashes on the finger holes on the way out.
Sam Cooley has a unique release as well.
Yeah.
I believe that's why he can use the stronger ball, because his roll is a little different than a lot of others. Because if I threw a ball this strong, I would be struggling to get the 8-10 out, I believe.
And he's the only player on today's telecast using 16 pounds, or as Rob Stone calls it, man weight.
Everybody with the ham bone here today. You guys talked about the hand positioning and the grip of Azcona, and then you teased the Cooley version as well, and we'll get a look at that here in a second.
Yeah, I mean, both players just, they don't get cheated, do they?
No, they're making me look a little weak, I think, sitting back here with their rub rates.
Do you even lift, bro?
And I got 2 hands on it. I got no excuse. I do need to get back in the gym, though, Rob.
Actually, he does lift. Seen it.
What do you bench? That's what my son tells me all the time now. What do you bench, Dad? What do you bench? I don't know, man. Let me check the Nautilus weight stack.
Not enough.
Oh, no.
Way right. Not punished too harshly, though.
Yeah, and he looked down at his hand as he was coming back after this one. And that's kind of what I call the wet bar of soap release, where all 3 fingers kind of come out at the same time.
Yeah, I wouldn't really know what that is, Randy, but both of my fingers come out at the same time.
Why? Because you don't use soap?
Because I don't use a thumb.
Oh.
Cooley cleans that one up. First spare here of game 1 of our second semifinal. Kyle Troup joining us right now. Troup swept Lavoie earlier here on FS1. Moves on to tomorrow's title showdown live on Family Guy Fox.
You know, one thing I'd like to note that I've been noticing in my matches, I think the 5th and 6th frame are almost more important than the 9th and 10th in a way to close out the commercial break. You know, especially take a 22-pin lead coming into the back half of the game. Then he only needs 4 good shots to shut him out.
Come on.
Yahtzee! 5 in a row for Azcona.
Yeah, he's got a glare on him right now.
I'm going to the other side. Yeah, I'm walking across the street. I'm going to avoid that young man. He seems to be a little too dialed in on something. He's had a wonderful season.
And he loves to hook it. You know, this is his comfort zone when he gets in.
Yeah.
4th arrow and deeper.
Yeah.
Soft speed.
Yep.
That release he's got. It's game on.
Well, beginning of the year when we first met him, it was like, all right, how do you pronounce your last name? Like, these were the details we were going through. And now it's like, oh, Christian is back on another show. And he just continues to impress.
Yep.
Made that full-time commitment to joining the tour. This one right at target, though.
Again, that zone there, there's some ice over on that part of it.
And it goes to your point, Kyle, you know, this 5th, 6th frame, the deciding factor a lot of times. You saw a spare from Sam in the 5th, and now a spare effort from Christian here in the 6th.
Yeah, that's just my thought process. Even looking back to that last match in the second game, I had the front 4. I really wanted to close out with 2 more strikes because then I told myself I need 2 good shots on each lane and I can't lose the match. But now, we've got a close one.
92% of the time, the 1-2-8 cleaned up.
Hey, Rob, when we come back from break, Kyle's going to tell us the secret behind making a ball change and what makes it effective and how the process works.
You know who's also going to join us after the break?
Who?
One Seth Rollins.
Nice.
Kyle Troup joining us here. He's advanced to tomorrow's final. He'll take on the winner of Azcona Cooley. Live on Fox 2 Eastern.
I have to say I love these WWE intros.
They're pretty fun.
And I know
we got one more to go.
Guppy does as well because he's a huge WWE fan.
Cooley getting a strike after that spare in the 5th. Long layoff during the commercial break during the Seth freaking Rollins rant, and he steps up and drops a strike.
So, Kyle, you made that ball change that we spoke about going to break, and you made that late in game 1. What does a player have to do to be successful when making a ball change?
I think it's a few things, Randy. The first thing is you have to have confidence in the ball change. You have to believe in it. And 2, you have to know your ball change. You know, I went from a solid ball to a pearl. I needed some more down lane reaction. I knew that ball was going to give it to me. So I had the confidence in the ball reaction. I had confidence in myself on the shot I was going to make. And then you just got to believe in it and go for it. Go for the gusto.
Good advice there.
Cooley gets the hook and the late drop of the 7 and another strike. Right of target.
Well, it's back-to-back.
7 spare attempts.
Yeah,
Yep.
back-to-back 1-2-8s left by Christian Azcona, and just back-to-back bad shots.
You know, for these 2 pins to be in the front, this is a quite difficult spare. I mean, you've seen me shoot the 1-2-4, and I didn't know which way I wanted to try and shoot it, but because if you hit it light, you can leave the 8. Hit it high, you can chop it.
Yep.
Covers it.
Perfect.
You got it that time. Come on. Ay, Dios. Ya, dale.
So, Kyle, you know you're taking on one of these guys tomorrow in our title showdown on Fox. What is it that you're watching right now that you're able to glean that might be able to help you tomorrow?
Not too much, honestly, Rob. I mean, both these guys are starting a lot further left, so I know that I might have to curve it a little more tomorrow. I'm really not thinking forward too much. I'm really just kind of staying in my own lane, worry about my own game. I've got all the confidence in the world right now, so I'll take on either of these guys. And good old Roman Reigns, too, because I got a message for him that I'm coming for the head of the table.
Ooh, I like that. You want to be the head of the table, the PBA. I like it, kid.
Coming for the belt.
By the way, have you, I mean, that belt, it's not like something you buy at Target.
Yeah, that's not the belt.
That's a real belt.
That's not the belt that I used to jump around on the trampoline with my stuffed animals 20 years ago. No, that thing is a beast. It's a 5-6 pound belt.
Yeah, that'll hang the drawers down a little low if you don't have it on tight enough.
Oh, I'll be throwing it over the shoulder.
That's the look. That's the one arm. You got to raise it with the one arm, put it up there.
Seen some wrestling in my days.
Yep. Maybe put on some baby oil beforehand. Get the hair nice and slick back. Sam Cooley starting to get himself in gear. 3 straight strikes. And Kimberly, it's a new mental approach for him, which is working out just fine.
Absolutely, because in his own words, he's having his best season ever, and he attributes much of that success to the change in his mental preparation. And he told us that in previous years, overthinking, panic, or even negative self-talk hindered him. So he started working with Dr. Dean, a sports psychologist who works with several athletes on tour. And Sam said that we address the importance the mental game requires, and it helped shift me from being pessimistic to optimistic. And I also learned to take in all of these moments as opposed to viewing them just as failures.
He said in the past, I'd have found ways to mentally lose. Dr. Dean kind of broke him down, made him work at it, and built him back up, and he gets another strike there.
Got a little mosh pit going on in the pin deck.
4 straight for Cooley after that spare in the 5th. Azcona down 24. This the latest strike. Sam with a pair of ham bones here. And starting to pull away a little bit. Big shot here for Azcona to close out the 9th. Needs to build on that strike in the 8th. Can max out with a 264. Clutch. Clutch.
I'm gonna go.
Azcona needed that. So after 7 spare, 7 spare in the 6th and the 7th, it's now back-to-back jacks.
That's a tough thing to do after 2 just very errant shots to step up and just, but you have to lock back into the process and stay in the moment of the frame. And he's done just that.
On the left lane to close out game number 1 of our 2nd semifinal.
Oh, needed it.
Looked a little left up front.
Yep.
Just didn't quite get to the dry as much.
And I think that might be the residue of the 2 shots where he missed the head pin back-to-back. A lot of angle being created by Christian, and I think that the best bowling that we've seen thus far through the playoffs is the straighter the players went through the front part of the lane, the better. And that's what you did, is kind of your game plan was to go a little bit straighter, and I think that's the way to play them.
Definitely, and it is 44 feet. There is some friction, but we still are bowling on a 44-foot pattern. So when you have this much angle, you have to be so precise with your break point front to back.
Yeah.
I would much rather keep the angle straighter and have a little more miss room.
Sure.
But, these guys have a little bit softer speed than me, so they're able to hook a little bit more, but I'll take the straighter's greater and listen to my pops, because he always said that back in the day.
No, yeah, your pops was pretty good at going straight. Why doesn't Christian maybe back his hand out of it a little bit and move right?
Maybe he's afraid because it's the burn and they might hook a little too early for him. And I mean, but he's really confident in his game right now and where he's playing the lanes. If he doesn't make the 2 completely errant shots, we're probably talking about a 270 to 270 game right now. So
it's true.
I'd say he's pretty comfortable.
Final shot of game 1 of 2 here in the 2nd semifinals for Azcona. Gets that one to drop, so he's done with a 243.
Just 9 for Cooley, stepping up in the 10th. Now, Rob, you're really good at nicknames for players, giving players nicknames that may not have one.
That may not have one.
that may not have one, like the Ginger Assassin.
Sure.
And, I've got one for Sam. I'll tell you after this shot.
Okay. Needs 9 to get game 1. He'll take 10, and he'll take game 1. 1 down, 1 to go for Sam Cooley. We're going to hear his new nickname when we return, plus a shout out for Mr. Azcona from one Rey Mysterio. Now the GOAT with the shout out to Azcona. My goodness.
Booyaka.
Booyaka. One of the best to ever come from Puerto Rico, bowled collegiately here in the U.S. at Lindenwood University. Dropped game 1, guys, by 21 pins. Must win here to force the roll-off.
Yeah.
Messenger missed it.
Well, he gets to finish on the right lane. He's way in on that left lane, and it's going to be real touchy to get that ball to come around the corner properly.
Just looks like he's a little too far left, Randy.
Right?
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's just not. He's either got to slow his speed down or hit it a little harder because
Yeah.
it's just not getting back up the hill on that left lane.
A lot of angle.
Deliberate step up to take care of the 10-pin. Azcona starts with a 9 spare. Sam Cooley, 9 strikes in their opening encounter. Had a 4 and a 5 bagger. 269, 243 to win it. Cooley starts game number 2 in cool fashion with a strike, and tomorrow the NASCAR Cup Series is right here on FS1. Get ready as the best in the biz battle it out for 400 miles at the Monster Mile. Catch the green flag action tomorrow, 2 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. You're a North Carolina guy. Are you a NASCAR guy?
You know, I got to work Watkins Glen two years ago.
Really?
And that was an amazing experience. Everybody was hanging out at the RVs, you know, having some adult drinks and just loving racing. It got me a lot more interested in it, I have to say.
Fun sport, man. Fun sport to watch live and on television. So Cooley, strike in the first, strike in the second, and maybe more importantly, he might have a new nickname, Randy?
Yeah, well, I was going to go with Sonny.
Sonny.
Yeah, from iRobot.
Yeah. Yeah. The name, but the image. Yeah. Kyle, do you approve?
I would have to say he might look a little bit like Sonny.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Sonny.
but, hey, I mean, Sonny was cool, dude. Sonny was cool. Sonny Sam Cooley.
There we go. Azcona must win here in game number 2 to force the roll-off.
Yes. A nice shot there on the right lane, but right now what Christian Azcona has to do is figure out how to strike on the left lane. We're going to go to his tour rep, Eric Krause. And Eric, what needs to change for Christian on that left lane?
He's got to get a little left and hit it more. So he can't go to anything earlier because it's just going to burn up. So he's in a cleaner ball, but he's just got to be more aggressive and get a little farther left to just get it pushed to the fronts a little more.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks.
Have to say, that's one of the rules. If your ball goes light, move left and hit it harder. Maybe the new era rule.
The split finger thing when Cooley's up next? I don't know. Come on!
Got a little love tap on the 10. Almost had it, Kyle. I saw you jump out of the seat like that. That Messenger's kind of taking its time. It might have enough.
Yeah, I don't ever count out a Messenger.
Right?
He was already turned around on that one, so I was trying to jump for him because he looks like he's in a little bit of trouble with this ball reaction on the left
I
lane.
agree. He needed the head pin, trying to
Short
take it.
pin.
Yeah. Could have used that break. So 2 spares through the opening 3 frames here of game number 2 for Azcona. And Sam Cooley's been perfect through 2, won the opening match. And interesting little footnote, there's a fan here cheering for Sam. His name is DJ Ricky Smith, which, by the way, great name. But as a kid growing up in Australia, the only way Sam, there's DJ, the only way Sam could watch PBA action was via YouTube, and there was some guy who was essentially, this is the word I was given to me, pirating PBA shows and putting them on YouTube. So Sam, this is that one, not punished too harshly. Sam actually reached out to this guy who on YouTube was DJ Ricky Smith and said, hey man, thank you, I really appreciate it. The two of them became friends. Turns out DJ Ricky Smith, you know where he lives? There's DJ, right here in Milford, Connecticut, owns Seven Seas Restaurant, is out here cheering on Sam, and those two guys have had a great connection, bringing the PBA together in both of their universes. By the way, was that lobster roll was courtesy of DJ Ricky?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good lobster roll.
It was delicious.
Sam hammers that one. Some anger behind that effort at the 6-pin.
He's a strong dude, man. I mean, he's got a really strong lower body.
Stealth strength.
Yeah, he's like that crazy strength. You wouldn't know that he's that strong, but he really is. And again, he throws 16 pounds. Most players typically throw 15 pounds out here, and he can really bring it.
I mean, he's so strong, he ripped his thumb slug out in the previous show.
Yep.
Man strength right there.
Yeah, his thumb slug actually came out of his spare ball. Index finger is real close to that middle finger.
Go. Messenger hammers the 10.
I'm picking it out for you, Cooley.
That seemed like a bit of a low blow, Kyle.
This messenger would have made Chuck Norris jealous. I mean, that was just savage.
Sam did tell me earlier in the show, he said, I don't have hair, so I can't pick it out. Like, well, come on, give us something, Sam. And he did.
A dirty log on the 10.
Azcona, spare, strike, spare here in this must-win second game. Has to force a roll-off. Oh, my. Oh, my, right through the nose. This is big-time trouble for Azcona.
Yeah, real big trouble. We saw Cooley go almost Brooklyn, or did go Brooklyn on that last shot. Azcona's got to get the ball in here, try to cover that back pin, the 9-pin, and then throw the 3 over into the 4-7. But that's called 4 through the middle, and that's never good, especially when you're working on a spare. If you're on a strike, you don't lose as much count.
Couldn't cover it his first open frame.
Such a tough split there. If you don't have enough angle, you don't carry the back pin.
Right.
Too much, you don't kick the 3 into the 4-7.
Yep.
Good run, though. Good run at that. Don't know if it was a bad shot or if the lane's developing or breaking down a little bit more.
Well, he went high in the 10th frame of the last game on this right lane. Yeah, and there's the wet drive, right? So this is how this pattern develops, and we've seen it before, especially with the high revs guy. So high rev guys. So he gets in, and all of a sudden he's trying to get away from that early hook and that dry right, and now he gets into the oil, and the ball doesn't hook. You guys now call that being cliffed.
Correct.
We used to call it wet dry.
Whichever way you understand it. Simpler the better, I think. I like wet dry. Well, I don't, but.
Right, but you like the terminology.
Cleans up the 2-4, second spare here in game number 2 for Cooley.
See, so after those 2 shots on the right lane, that would tell me I need to get out of that ball, because I went runaway Brooklyn and then 2-4, almost 2-4-10, and the strike tracker was almost dead on.
So what's the move?
I would think he's got to go to something with a little bit cleaner cover to give him a little more down lane reaction, because that ball hooked way early on the Brooklyn, and then I thought he made a great shot and it went light. So I think the ball's just burning up on that lane and needs to store a little more energy.
Okay.
Cooley trying to close out Azcona and take on Kyle Troup tomorrow on Fox in the title showdown of our PBA playoffs, presented by Kia.
Happening on the left lane for him as well. So Kyle Troup is doing the throat move with his hand, Rob, and that means it's time to get out of that bowling ball.
you know, this is now the 7th and 8th game bowled on this pair.
Yep.
That's a lot of games to be throwing a strong asymmetrical bowling ball. And, you know, it looked great the first game, but now he's beat up that line that he's been playing, and then he moves off of that, and then you can just see the ball reaction kind of going away from him here. But
and honestly, real fortunate that he didn't have two big splits in back-to-back frames, 5th and 6th.
He got a 269 in the first game. He can only max out with a 247 here in the second. Perhaps an opening for Azcona. He's down 24, but he's about to step up and maybe put some pressure on Cooley. We close out our second semifinal of the PBA playoffs when we return.
Pretty awesome stuff, that clutch bowling.
Azcona has been gifted an opening after that open frame in the fourth. He's seen Cooley with a pair of back-to-back 8 spares. If he can get on the strike train here and start putting them together, that's 2 in a row now, yeah.
Well, he made that big ball change in the 5th frame, and he can cut the deficit to 4 with a strike here in the 7th.
Puerto Rican national team member strikes in the 5th and the 6th now. It's not too late to force a roll-off.
And the great thing about the ball changes sometimes is you just have a lot of confidence in certain balls.
Yeah.
And in the previous round, I believe Azcona, this was the only ball used for the entire match. So I think he has all the confidence. He's got that look back on his face now. I think he's going to start striking.
Man, that stings.
Left of target. He knows it. Easy to do, though, when you're on a lane where your subconscious mind is telling you if you don't get this at the bottom, it's not going to curve.
Yeah, especially after going light 10, 2 frames on that lane. Just trying to manufacture the ball reaction a little too much right there.
Tough spare here.
Takes care of the 3, 6, 9, 10. That'll be his 4th spare here this match. The impact of the pandemic on youth sports has been significant. And while recovery has certainly started in some communities, far too many children in need are still on the sidelines. So we encourage you to visit goodsports.org to learn how you can help Fox Sports and Good Sports restore play for at-risk youth and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Sam Cooley has not struck since the 4th. Pair of 8 spares in the 5th and the 6th. Here he is in the 7th. Can max with a 247.
Well, he was talking with his tour rep, Sean Ryan, during the break, and Sean said, move back to the right and tighten your angles up a bit. And I think that's really good advice. What do you say, Kyle?
I would have to completely agree. You know, that's a tough decision, especially after going Brooklyn light and then move back right with the same ball. But hey, you know, we trust our reps. You know, we're a team together, and sometimes we got to make decisions together. And he committed to it and carries the 4-pin to the side wall. I'd say that was the correct move.
His 4th strike here in game number 2 of our second semifinal. With the win, Cooley would move on to the showdown tomorrow versus Kyle Troup live on Fox. The winner to take home that WWE belt and the title of PBA playoff champion. Back-to-back jacks for Sam Bam Cooley.
Three boards right of target and runs the 8-pin over.
Yeah.
That's a good sign for Sam Cooley. And I would have to say, I believe Christian is in a must-strike situation.
Only 3 strikes through 7 frames for Azcona here in the second game.
He's got to take this one off the sheet, and that means striking out.
There's one.
Kyle, what does he do on the left lane now? He went high last time up.
I think he's just got to make a better shot, Randy. The shot before that, he switched balls and threw that ball. He struck. It looked great. I think it was just a bad shot on his part. He's got to just forget about it. If he wants, it's his last shot on the left lane. I would probably be cheating just a little bit left, just to stay aggressive, especially after going high.
On that left lane, I should say, a 9 spare, a 9 spare, a strike, a 6 spare.
Come on.
Messenger, get out! Yeah! Take that, 10-pin!
I'm picking it out for you too, Christian.
This is an unusual messenger. Watch the pin action. Head pin. Almost got stuck in traffic, but was able to come across and take out the 10.
Flat 10 messenger. I believe I might be quoting this correctly. That is a Ken Samard hit.
What?
From the South region. He was very popular for the flat 10 ripping messenger.
Cooley looking for 3 in a row here. Up 18. There's a triple for Sam.
And you can see there, moving right, maybe upping his speed just a tad, 2 left of the last one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that was the right move, and just moving a little bit right and just kind of jamming it.
And with that big and with that strong of a ball, you really can't create too much angle, and I think he was probably starting to cheat it left. Said, nope, scoot back right. Shut that ball down a little bit.
I want to remind you, coming up next here on FS1, NASCAR race day, getting you ready for some Xfinity racing from Dover, and then tomorrow, NASCAR Cup Series.
Yes! Guess what? It's over.
Cooley sweeps Azcona, and he moves on. Well, the finals are set for tomorrow's PBA playoffs. Your 1 seed, Kyle Troup, will be taking on 11 seed, Sam Cooley.
Good place for it.
Yeah, great timing, Sam, right? So the Kia PBA playoffs wraps up tomorrow. We're going to crown a champ and hand out a belt, my friend, live on Fox 2 Eastern, right here from Bolero Midfield. Your 1 seed, Kyle Troup. Your 11 seed, Sam Cooley on Big Boy Fox. Coming up next year on FS.